Now, so what is the prospect that you now, that is 1:10 or 20 men, will find a man who will fall in love with you and fall in love with you alone? So when people say that they don't want polygamy, sometimes I think you're either speaking from a place of poverty, or you're speaking from a place of, I actually don't want this thing, I don't want it, period. Has this population ratio, this vast, difference or disparity between the ratio of female to male, has it been one of the causes of an increase in queerness? Because there are not enough men to go around out there. Maybe I would consider the possibility of liking somebody of my same gender. Hi, my name is Maranatha Abutu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk about societal conversations, women and girls issues, health, fertility, movies, and books that I absolutely enjoy. If this seems like your jam, please click on the subscribe button and also click on the notification bell so that anytime I put out new videos, you'll be among the first persons to know. On today's show, we are talking about the world population of female to male ratio versus the prospects of finding love. I don't know how many of you guys have seen the world's population of female to male ratio. It came out, I think, on Sunday or on Saturday. I'm not sure right now. But if you haven't seen it, I'm going to put it up on the screen for those of us who haven't seen it, so you can get a glimpse into what I'm talking about. So if you think back to your nursery class, you think back to your secondary school, you think back to your university, you find that there were probably more girls in your class than you had boys. If you go to your church, actually, I think you would have more women in your church than you have men. If you go to anywhere at all, I feel like you find more women than you find men. So this is not actually it's not news per se, but it is news, right? And what I mean is, I think that in Nigeria, we've always known that there are more women than there are men. And so what does this mean in terms of finding love, in terms of settling down, in terms of what the world is going to look like? So when I saw that, I had a couple of questions. When I posted it, I was like, I have so many questions to ask, but I don't even know where to begin from. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to do a video about it, and then I'll talk to you guys, we'll discuss. Let's talk, let's rub minds. Let me tell you what I feel. Because maybe I'm thinking about it now because of the age that I'm currently at. Before, we would say, yeah, there are more women than men. And so, yeah, we all know that. But now I have to take a more deeper look at it and think, okay, so what does this mean? What does this mean in terms of settling down? What does this mean in terms of finding love? What does this mean in terms of all the things that we say we don't want to do? So the first thing I want to say is that I feel like whether we agree or not, there is patriarchy. So if you don't know what patriarchy is at this point, I don't know what your problem is. But patriarchy is the idea that this is a man's world. Everything, all the rules, all the regulations, everything is done to suit a man. And women are more or less second-class citizens, that women do not have certain rights. These rights are only reserved for men. That's basically what patriarchy is. Now, the first thing I want to say is that why I believe that the world is patriarchal, and for a while now, women have been fighting back to take back control and sort of have a lead-in for their life. And so what that means is a lot more women and girls are going back to school, which is a very, very, very good thing, right? Which means that women are also going to be doing everything else that men are doing in terms of career opportunities, in terms of goals, in terms of reaching the zenith of their careers, in terms of reaching the zenith of their education, and everything else that they want to do. So that is one thing that I know is going to happen. And so a lot of women are going to become a lot more empowered, a lot more educated, and a lot more in spaces that they never thought or dreamt that they would be, which is one. Now, the second thing I started to think is, has this population ratio, this vast, difference or disparity between the ratio of female to male, has it been one of the causes of an increase in queerness? I know that we already have queer, so to speak, lesbianism, transgender, and all of that and all of that. And now I'm saying, because a lot of people are going to be thinking about, oh, because there are not enough men to go around out there, maybe I would consider the possibility of liking somebody of my same gender. Do you think that this would lead to a more increase of queerness out there, whether we like it or not? Not every woman is going to find a man, and not every man is going to find a woman. And this means that things that would start to happen or become accepted are things like polygamy, queerness, polyamory, open relationships, etc. And I'm saying this because I think that we underestimate the level of connection or intimate connection that humans need. I think we underestimate how much of a connection that people seek to have. And so if there are no men out there, wouldn't that mean that women mostly, not just women and men, right? But women mostly would start to opt for, well, let me find a woman that I share the same values, the same dreams with, and let's get the show running on the road. Then in terms of polyamory, polygamy. So for polygamy, right? A friend of mine was saying that he doesn't ever understand why every time that polygamy as a word comes up, women are always the first to say, oh, I don't like polygamy, I don't like polygamy. But at the end of the day, it is women who are settling into polygamous homes. Okay? And I said it is not difficult. And I think that part of what is going to be accounting for that is a lack of men. So if there are no men out there, I think that some women will start to think, you know what, if I find a person who likes me, maybe I'm going to choose to accept to be with this person too. But then in terms of people who say that they don't want to consider, so there are two types of people that I think, right? I think that there are two types of people who say that they don't like polygamy. Now, the first set of people are those who say that they don't like polygamy because the polygamy that they are maybe used or exposed to is the one that is broke. And then the second set are the ones who don't even want problems, and they think that, oh, I mustn't actually settle down with a man, or I mustn't actually settle down at all, right? And so whether or not there is money or there is no money, I don't want to be with a person who is attached to another person. Or for instance, I'm already married to a man and he wakes up one day to say that, oh, I'm going to take in a second wife, and I would up and leave. So these are the two types of people that I think say that they hate polygamy. Now, for the first, I think that while it may seem like the issue is, because whether we like it or not, a lot of women are warming up to the idea of polygamy, which I don't know that having to do with the population of a thing, but I know that, like I would always say, people marry for different reasons. And so there is a reason why I am choosing to attach to a man. And if my primary reason for attaching to a person is not necessarily that, oh, does he have another wife? Or is he going to take another wife? Or more so, oh, am I going to be financially secured in this marriage? Is there money? Will there be problems? And all of that. So if the problem is that, oh, my core reason for getting married is financial security, then of course I actually wouldn't mind whether the man has 7 wives before me or he's taking on 6 more wives after me, right? And so when people say that they don't want polygamy, sometimes I think you're either speaking from a place of poverty, or you're speaking from a place of, I actually don't want this thing, I don't want it, period. Polygamy, polyamory, which is that everybody is just basically with everybody. And then, of course, open marriages, meaning you can be married to each other and also choose to do, XYZ outside. It doesn't really matter. Maybe they are together for a particular reason. I don't know, but I feel like what population ratio of men to women is telling me now in this state that I am in is that a lot of people are going to be more open to the idea of these things that are supposedly weird or supposedly bad to do. And I feel like we'll get to a stage where a lot more people will be choosing or opting for these options, or not even getting married at all. So meaning that in years to come, in short, currently there are a lot more women who are choosing to stay unmarried. And so in years to come, I feel like there will be much more women who will choose not to ever get attached to anybody, in the sense of, oh, I am marrying this person, or maybe other forms of relationship, like, okay, we can cohabit, or you do your other things, meaning that I don't have to put a tag to it. Now, so what is the prospect that you now, that is 1:10 or 20 men will find a man who will fall in love with you, and fall in love with you alone? Prospects of finding love, my friend Dami would say that is very mystical. Like, falling in love is a very sweet feeling, but falling in love with a person who loves you back is mystical, in the sense that because I know that we talk about this thing where we are like, you find a person and you choosing to love them over and over again. That is what love means. But I think that we also underestimate the power of meeting one or two people who are exactly alike. And so it begs the question, we say that we are unique beings, but it doesn't mean that you are the only person out there who is as good as you think you are. So what makes you think that you will fall in love with a person and that person will fall in love with you in return? And then you take it for granted, in the sense that, oh, it's just love now. It's just love. So I don't know. The prospect of finding love in this generation and the one to come is going to be really difficult, because, again, like I mentioned, some of these things are going to become normal, because if what you seek is connection, and connection that you are seeing is from your same sex, or it's from a man who already has wives and can cater to all of you, that I feel like a lot of people are going to be jumping at that idea, and even the idea of open marriages, which is even already a thing, by the way. So this is what I think personally. I think that there's an age to which you come to, that you start to think about, oh wait, what are my options, what are my chances? Because now everywhere I turn to, I feel like people have relationship problems left, right, and center. And it's because everybody genuinely wants to have or create intimate connections with people. Before, I used to always be like, all our problem now, man problem. But I think about it again, and I say that we underestimate the need for connection, the need for intimate connection. And so, because it is the core of who we are as social beings, you cannot take that away. And this is, what I have concluded from the word ratio of male to female that I have seen. I don't know if you think what I'm saying is right, but if you have other things that you think that in years to come to become normal, please let me know in the comment section. I just honestly saw it and I wanted to scream like, yo, I know that even in secondary school, where there were 10 boys in my class and were 25 girls. In my hostel as well, in my hostel, my purple house, there were more girls than there were boys. So, and I know we see these things, but then as an adult now, it begins to make a lot more sense, because I feel like most of our life decisions to settle down or not to settle down is going to revolve around, these things that I have mentioned. Will you choose to remain unmarried? Will you choose to become polyamorous or stay in a polyamorous relationship? Would you choose to would you choose to be in a polygamous relationship? Would you choose to be in an open marriage? What are the options going to be? Like right now, if you don't find love as it is now, what are you going to do? Will you start to consider any of these options that I have mentioned? Or do you think that, oh, I'm just blowing things out of proportion and I'm just being like, oh, women have always been more than men and people have been getting by. So maybe I'm just, shouting and all. But I just genuinely feel that it's getting worse. It's getting worse than it was. And again, people are giving birth every day. and these numbers keep going up and up. And I also genuinely feel like maybe you men need to get your chromosomes checked, because again, as you know, women only have one type of chromosome, and so if people are giving birth to more females, it means that something is wrong with you people's spermatozoa. So maybe you guys need to do something. Maybe there needs to be a research or something. I don't know, but we need to start to think about the way out. And because again, there are people in my corner who are trying to look for love. All of us are looking for love. We're looking for ways to settle down. But I'm just really like, are we all really going to find love? Are we all really going to settle down? And if you don't find love, if you find that, oh, this isn't working out for you, what are you going to do then? So yeah, this is where I end the talk for today. If you have contributions to make, please come to my YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, come to my YouTube. Put your comments in the comment section to let me know what your thoughts are. Again, do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm blowing a mountain out of molehills? Whatever it is, let me know in the comment section. And also, do not forget to like, subscribe, click on the notification bell, and yeah, see you in my next one. Bye bye.